Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Mike Shane, and I'm the Chief Business Officer here at Comcast Spectacor. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, but I want to start off with a quick introduction. I joined the organization in spring of 2019, right after that season concluded. And with the shortened season last year, I realized that I haven't had a chance to meet many of you. But I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to being together here again at the Wells Fargo Center and to meeting a lot of you for the first time and continuing the great relationship that this organization has built with its season ticket members. Some of you may have heard that Lindsay Masiangelo has recently received a new career opportunity that she's pursuing. I know that Lindsay has taken great care of you, and I want you to all know that we intend on continuing that personalized attention and value with myself, and in time, a new president of the organization that we'll be hiring. I'd also like to take a quick second and apologize for the technical difficulties that we experienced tonight. I know that we ended up having to change the link where you're viewing this, so hopefully you've gotten to us now or are watching it archived later. We've got a lot to share with you. And this is an especially exciting night because to you, our season ticket members, we get to break some really exciting and exclusive news. I am personally very excited to be able to announce that the 2019-2020 NLL head coach and GM of the year, Paul Day, has been signed to a new 3-year extension. You're going to be hearing from Paul here shortly tonight. We are all very pleased that Paul will be coming back and continuing to coach our boys. You know, the team was really on a great trajectory last year before the season was cut short. And then, you know, couple that with the moves we made during the offseason and additions to our team. You know, we're very confident in the direction that Paul is taking the team. We look forward to seeing him bring it all to fruition here. So now for the topic that I know is on a lot of people's minds, and that is what's going on with the league next season. As I'm sure a lot of you saw, the NLL has made a decision that we are now looking at a fall start for a new Wings lacrosse season. And while that's forcing us to reset our countdown clocks yet again, I want you all to know that we as a league and as the teams collectively exhausted every possible avenue to play this spring. Nearly every day and night, we've been working, the teams, the league, the Players Association, and so many others to create a solution. And unfortunately, in the end, there just wasn't a viable path to playing this spring. The health and safety of our team and our staff is always going to come first. And if that means waiting a bit longer, you know, I'm confident that was the right decision. And also, very candidly, you know, this league structure is heavily dependent on your attendance. And when we considered even a shooting bubble style season, which you may have read about, the frequent travel across the border to Canada posed a lot of risks and a lot of challenges that we just weren't able to overcome as a league. Now, all that being said, we are very confident in our start this coming fall. Including welcoming you back in person to watch your team play here at the Wells Fargo Center. And we're going to talk plenty about that later this evening. However, before we get into all of that, I'd like to turn it over now to the voice of the Philadelphia Wings, Mr. Brian Smith, and your reigning NLL GM and Coach of the Year, Paul Day.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it. And Paul, welcome in. Good to see you. And first of all, congratulations on both the extension and the head coach and GM of the Year honors. I feel like we haven't gotten a chance to properly congratulate you on that because of everything that's going on. So congratulations.
Thanks. Really appreciate it. And obviously great to be here and, you know, to see everybody virtually tonight. It's been a while, but we've got lots to talk about. And, you know, obviously everybody's really disappointed that we can't compete this year, but you know, we've really come up with a good plan in our off season that I think is that we're going to get to see come to fruition next fall and, you know, over the coming season. So I'm really excited to be able to stay in Philadelphia with these great fans and you know, have our guys compete every night. It's a great group of athletes and young people, and you know, we love playing at Wells Fargo, and we can't wait till the fall.
Yeah, obviously we'd all rather be playing games right now and doing everything that goes along with that, game planning and practices and whatnot. What's been occupying your time though, under the current circumstances as we've kind of navigated this very strange off season and
Yeah, I think
planning
Mike
for the future?
alluded to it. A lot of Zoom calls with committee members with the National Lacrosse League, and we're obviously real hopeful that we'd be able to pull something off, whether it was going to be a season or a bubble. And the league office and all the teams and the PLPA really worked hard to try and get something done. So now we've turned our attention to next season, and the day after it was announced that there wasn't going to be a season, we were working on rules, and we've got Fort Worth coming in next year, which is great. I mean, obviously COVID has been really difficult for a lot of businesses and a lot of professional sports, and being involved in this league for 30 years, I can say this league's really, other than not being able to play this year, this league and ownership and National Lacrosse League's done an unbelievable job. It's coming out of a pandemic with great plans for Fort Worth and beyond.
So just as a kind of a reset, so everybody's, some folks may have missed some things over the off season, or may have lost track of a couple of things. Can you give us some of the key additions to this team that you had lined up that Wings fans will now eventually see when things
I think
resume this coming fall?
our first plan of attack last summer was make sure we had Zach Higgins signed to the future. So obviously that was our goal right away, and then we had the youngest defense in the league. We were in the top 3 in goals against and defense. And, but our average age was 25, which, is young. We like our group, but we wanted to add some experience. And, comes with that experience, we wanted to add some guys with size, that were real athletic and great people in the room. And I think that's what we did with, adding Brock Sorensen, who, I've been around and coached. We won 3 Man Cups together. He's 30 years old, he's 6'6", physical, and can really run the floor and score some goals. Alex Krepensek, through free agency, is best friends with Kyle Matisse and Brett Hickey. So it's some great chemistry. Won a championship in Georgia. And then John Rannigan, who, played in Philadelphia in the past. Another big physical guy that has got some chemistry with the guys from the Swarm, and loved his time in Philadelphia. When I called to tell him that we had traded for him, his first conversation with his parents driving up from New York to tailgate with the fans, and he couldn't wait to finish his career in Philadelphia. So defensively, that was our goal, to add some bigger men and some size and some experience and some great people in the locker room. And then offensively, we've talked to Saskatchewan, the last couple of years. We knew Ben was living in Philadelphia, so they've got 11 or 12 unrestricted free agents next year, and Ben would have been one of them. And we were just lucky enough to be able to bring him, to our team. One of the best offensive players in the league, living in Philadelphia, and we married a girl from Philadelphia, so. We're pretty excited. Obviously, we didn't want to lose Josh Curry, but we knew it was going to take a good player to get a player like Ben, and we know he's going to be there for the rest of his career in Philadelphia. And he's won 3 championships in Saskatchewan in his short career, so that was big. And another issue, our power play wasn't great last year, and we thought obviously adding him is going to be great, but we added Corey Small, who brings a little bit of a different dimension to our left side. Great outside shooter. It's really going to help having him in the lineup this year. Another guy who recently won 3 Man Cups with us, so he's got some great chemistry with Corey Vitarelli already. So we've added those guys, and then Angus Goodleaf to come in and back up Hickey. Great teammate. Won a couple championships in Rochester with him, and another guy that's excellent in the room. One of our plans in the off season, December, January, as a group, we were reading the book as a team, Legacy, with the New Zealand All Blacks, and really talks about great teams are built with great people, and that's really what we've done from day one. And adding these these gentlemen really help. He's going to really help our room, and it's going to be helping us be successful in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a pretty tight-knit group when this all happened almost a year ago. And I know the guys were keeping in touch with each other a little bit during the end of what would have been last season. Is the team keeping in touch now continuously throughout this? And are they doing anything? Is there any kind of workout program or anything like that they're kind of doing together yet remotely?
Yeah, so
anything like that
twice a month, Thursdays, we get on a Zoom call with our guys, and then December, January, we're talking about the book, and spend a lot of time just talking about how everybody's doing. I mean, Colin Matisse said he was positive for COVID. His wife works at a hospital here in Hamilton, and she had it, so the family was kind of locked down for a couple of weeks. So we talk every couple of weeks, and obviously guys are involved in their own day-to-day lives with their, I guess we'll call them real jobs. But PJ, our trainer with the team through Inspira, is guys are on their iPads. We have a fitness plan that they follow along, and he's one of the best fitness trainers around. It's hard with athletes. We don't have a start date right now. We don't have a finish date, and that's always hard. So a lot of our guys will play in the PLL. They may get to play some summer box lacrosse up here. So they're actively training all the time. The great thing about the majority of them living around here is a couple of facilities up here have the NLL guys playing in, I guess you could call it a league. It started, COVID shut it down, but we hope to see everybody back playing in that a couple days a week. Just it's almost, I don't want to say non-contact, but it's a little contact. So we hope them to be able to get on the turf, and then if the PLL and Major Series Lacrosse, the WLA West Junior Lacrosse get going this summer, that'll be obviously some great training before we hit training camp in the fall.
So we've obviously never really seen a situation like this before in lots of different ways, not just in the NLL, but had some folks curious about what impact these 2 years, the shortened season last year and then the canceled season this year, what impact do they have, if any, on player contracts and overall planning from your perspective? I know in your role, you're planning not just for the coming year, but sometimes 2-3 years ahead of now. How has this affected all
It's a great
those
question. It's uncharted territory for the National Lacrosse League, and the PLPA, the Professional Lacrosse Players Association. They're going to probably spend the next months deciding on contracts and issues involved in the CBA. So and also we talked about Fort Worth coming in. We've got in the off season, when a season ends, before training camp, how we were planning, each team's allowed to have up to 40 people on the roster. So when a season ends before expansion, you're only allowed to have 31. So a lot of decisions at the league level have to be made about that, just to make expansion fair for Fort Worth, to make sure that they have enough people that they can, free agents, street free agents, as we would call it. For us, when we started, Steph Charbonneau was a street free agent. IDA, Isaiah was a street free agent. So there's guys that were street free agents that became available after other teams had either released them or they're on practice rosters. So for us, we had that opportunity to sign them in the off season to make sure that we could facilitate a good training camp and have extra players. So I think we're, the next couple of months, we'll find out what the ruling is on contracts. We're prepared that anybody that we've acquired that may become an unrestricted free agent, they're going to stay in Philadelphia. We're, like you said, we're planning for 2 or 3 years in advance, and we're pretty comfortable that everybody that we've acquired in the off season will stay. And I think, we know that we're going to lose one player to Fort Worth as part of the expansion. It's fantastic that a team's coming in. It's only one expansion team this year, rather than when San Diego came in and we came in, or New York and Rochester where you lose 2 players. So I think it's great for us just to lose one, but it's also a great opportunity to Fort Worth to stock a really good roster, being the only expansion team and getting to pick, the best 13 players available.
And speaking of Fort Worth, going to be a quick connection between the Wings and them, because Tracy Kaluski has been named the head coach of that new Panther City Lacrosse Club, and a great thing for him, a great thing for his career, and I'm sure you're very happy for him. It does leave an opening on your staff. What goes into filling that, and is that something you probably be doing maybe closer to next season, or do you look to do it earlier than that? Just for
great opportunity for TK. He deserved it. He's worked real hard. Obviously, he was a great leader as a player. To me, sometimes I think of him as the Mark Messier of lacrosse, the way he was a leader as a player. And then he was great for our young guys and, the culture of the Wings. And I think it's great for the organization. It says a lot about us as an organization that we're able to, promote people throughout lacrosse. And, I look at our team right now and I think of some of the players that will be coaches in the future, and hopefully we can facilitate that for their careers. So I think in right now, I ran the offense in Rochester for a lot of years and really enjoyed that. And our offense, adding Ben and Corey, to a group that's got great chemistry, we're going to keep it pretty simple right now, and I'm going to handle the offense. And having the veteran leadership we do, I think that's really our best. And talking to a lot of our players too. I think adding someone new to this group, may take some time for chemistry, and we like the group. I love to coach, so I'll take on that role right now. We're going to have Chris Collins step in and take a more of a role on the bench. Help with video and help in the community. He's a guy that's done a lot for this organization and a guy that's worked real hard, so he's going to help us. But right now, I'll handle the offense.
And just to kind of wrap up this portion of the evening, you're in a great spot right now, a shiny new contract as of a few minutes ago, and a lot of great things going for the team that we were just able to talk about. Can you kind of describe the excitement, the anticipation, if you will, that not only yourself but the team, the rest of the staff has going into this?
Yeah, I really think that was one of the hardest things about not playing this year. Is we are so excited to get this group together, and it's funny on the Zoom calls. I talked to John, like last week. I talked to John Ranigan, Ben, Brock Sorensen, some of the newer guys that we haven't even got to spend any time with. We just talked to them on the phone, and every one of them were like, it's such a good group on the Zoom calls. And, they're so looking forward to getting together. And I think that was one of the hardest things, but it does give us some more time to plan. So for us, obviously it's already been a long off season, and, one of our plans in this off season from now till the fall is we've got a Philadelphia area sports psychologist we're going to work with as a group for some team building exercises. And someone who's very familiar with, Philadelphia sports, and someone that I trust. We've got some new analytics that we're going to a new analytics company we're going to work on with to give the guys some really good information in the off season. From their stats last year, shooting charts, and it's good for the offensive and defensive guys. And then we've got a new video system we've been working with as well. So there's a lot of new things we get to work with this year, which is really important. But yeah, I can't wait to get to skate zone and get into practice. It's just, I think it's such a good group. So, we're like everybody else on this call. We just can't wait. And I think, I'd be remiss if I didn't speak about Rocco and what he meant to the group here, and, make sure everybody knows that we'll be thinking about him next season.
Absolutely. Well, certainly a lot of great things to look forward to, Coach. Thank you again for joining us this evening, and congratulations again on all the big news going on. And hopefully this fall we'll get here very, very quickly.
Can't wait.
All right, now we're gonna shift gears a little bit. Now we're gonna bring back Mike Shane into the conversation and talk a little bit about what's going on, not just with the league in general, which we've kind of already touched on a little bit, but what's happening with your season ticket memberships. Mike, welcome back, and why don't you just dive in here on what to expect coming up this fall?
I think that Paul did a great job talking about everything that he and his team have been doing to keep the guys ready and put the best product they can on the turf when the time comes. And from that standpoint, our job is to give him the resources he needs and let him do his thing. But the other half of that equation is we need to be working hard to make sure that the Wells Fargo Center is ready to host our fans when the upcoming season starts. And really since the season was shut down last year, so 11 months ago, we've been working on this. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. It all starts with the health and safety of our players, of our staff, and of our fans. And so we've put in a lot of effort this offseason. Some of you may have recently heard we just achieved the Well Health and Safety Rating approval, which is the highest standard out there for a building to have health and safety protocols in place. We recently completed an $11 million upgrade to our HVAC system, which cycles air in and out of the arena faster than any other building in the country. And we're also looking at a number of contactless processes for the upcoming season, things like food and beverage ordering, ticketing, even parking. So we are extremely confident that when the time comes, when the season starts in the fall, we will be ready and we will have the safest possible building here for our players and for our fans.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks have gotten accustomed, I guess, to mobile and touchless things across the board. So hopefully a great fall with everyone back inside with all that stuff in place. But with all that, I'm sure there'll be a bit of a learning curve, some changes for season ticket members, though. What can everybody expect now that this season has officially been kind of shelved and all the focus now is on next year and making sure next year is great? We've extended this timeline once more, but what are some of the changes?
The saying that necessity is the mother of invention, really couldn't be more true than here, right? The pandemic has brought about so many the need for so many changes, and we've really worked to be proactive on 100 different fronts in that regard. And so, I talked about the building, I talked about some of the processes that we're looking at. But really the most important thing for us is that we are taking care of our best fans, and those are our season ticket members. And so we've put a lot of thought into, what are the different ways that we can do that. And, it starts with nights like tonight, and, transparency is really important. And we may not always have all the answers at the moment. And, I feel like in these times, that's somewhat understandable. But we'll also tell you, what we know, and we'll tell you what we don't know at a given time. We'll be honest with you in that regard. And so, right now, we know there's going to be a season in the fall, and we know we're going to be playing. I'll be honest, we don't know how many games it's going to be. There's been some talk at the league level of expanding the season, and that's something that I'm personally very excited about. I think that there's no such thing as too much lacrosse. So we're still working through that. But what we want to do now is we do want to offer our season ticket members some certainty and the opportunity to roll their plans onto the 21-22 season now. So you're going to be receiving in the next week or so, you're going to be receiving information from your rep about rolling your plan onto next year. It's going to allow you to spread out your payments. It's going to allow you to lock in your price. We're not increasing any prices for our renewing members, and then obviously lock in your seat location. So we rolled out the Wings member pledge over the summer when all we knew was that there was going to be continued uncertainty, and we wanted to make sure that our members felt appreciated, protected, comfortable, and that regardless of what this thing throws at us, we're gonna keep them in mind first, and this is our first step toward that.
Awesome. And for those that do commit their plans to 21-22, what else can they expect coming down the pike for that season?
So like I said, obviously our plan holders who are committed now have at least a deposit down, and so we're going to be able to spread out their payments now over the 4-month payment plan, which isn't going to start again until September. So we've got some time, and we're not going to be hounding you for money now. We can wait on that. We're also going to be continuing to offer exclusive team events next year when we're able to get back and do that, to meet the team. And one of my favorite thing that we were able to do last year was the Shoot for Your Seat event. And so that's going to be coming back for all of our ticket members. And so, the 4-month payment plan I talked about a minute ago, if you come and you hit the shot, then you can throw it out the window and you get your seats for free. So, I talked about the extra games. Again, still not exactly sure where that's going to land, but as soon as we know, we'll be communicating that as well.
Okay. So let's say I'm a season ticket member. I'm ready to lock in my plan. How do I confirm, or what do I have to do to secure that spot for this fall?
Piece of cake. You don't have to do anything. So you're going to receive all the information in writing next week by email with your account statement to review. So check your email. If you don't get that, please reach out and we'll make sure that we got the right address for you. And if you are ready to roll your plan to next year, you don't have to do anything. If you're not quite ready, you just let us know by March 15th. Or reach out to your account manager, and we can put your account on pause and see how things shake out and what we can do to help you out through the off season.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mike, so much for helping to lay all of this out. We're going to just take these last few minutes to address a few of your questions that we've received. And as Mike mentioned, if you have additional questions that we haven't covered, you can certainly connect with your account manager this week, and we'll get you all the answers that you're looking for. The first question is, how has all this come together? What's been the thought process, if you will, of the organization to take care of season ticket members as this has all gone on?
Yeah, like I said, we started planning all of this 11 months ago, and there have been dozens of iterations and contingency plans and what ifs. But really, it all started. Once we all figured out how to get in virtual conference rooms, we started talking about the commitment that we want to reinforce to all of our ticket members. They're our most valuable clients. And so, like I said, it started with the Wings member pledge. We didn't really know exactly what we were pledging to, but we just said, we're going to take care of you. And we put it on paper and made it broad enough that regardless of what happens, that our best fans understand that they're covered and protected. And it starts with putting safety first. I mentioned that a lot of things we're doing here at the Wells Fargo Center, and so we really put our members and safety ahead of the business and profit and gain and things like that. Like we're looking at this, really at what's most important, and that is our fan base and that is our players. So, second, we want to be transparent, like I said before, and realistic, and we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and we've been pivoting and drafting and redrafting. But again, like I said, tonight, nights like tonight are our chance to share with you and kind of give a peek behind the curtain. And Brian, I'm glad you said reach out to your rep, because I'm sure there are going to be some questions that we don't answer tonight, and they will be glad to walk you through everything and tell you everything that we have coming. But at the end of the day, we want everyone to know that we value the investment that you make with the Wings, and we're dedicated to putting a winner on the turf, bringing a championship to Philadelphia, and taking care of our fans every step of the way.
Absolutely. How about the overall health of the league? What is the overall health of the league after losing what's going to end up being a season and a half due to COVID? Any concern about the Wings, other teams, the league in general, not making it
You know,
through
it's
this?
it's a fair question, right? I mean, we haven't been. It's going to be a year and a half that we haven't been able to play. But really, the exact opposite is true. The league has been. I mentioned before how hard the league's been working on the restart, but they've been working on every element of the business. And we talked about the expansion team, Dallas Fort Worth, coming in. A team expanding during a pandemic is fantastic. Can't give anything away, but keep your eye on the news. There may be some other notifications coming out that will speak to the health of the league in that regard. We're also having some really good talks at the league level on a nationwide and both U.S. and Canada media rights deals that are really progressing and are encouraging. We're also, as you've seen in some of the other leagues, the pandemic and the canceled season, shortened seasons, it brings about a need to work very closely with the Players Association. And, I think that's kind of been a silver lining to all of this is, how closely the league and the PLPA have worked together. And, I think that we're making really good strides toward a new long-term CBA, which would be great for the league. I think it's also a fair question because you've seen it in other lacrosse leagues, right? The MLL and the PLL emerging. And from my perspective, that's a great thing for pro lacrosse. We're going to have two leagues now, one indoor, one outdoor. And we've got a great relationship with the PLL, and we're going to continue to support each other. We know that a lot of the players play in both leagues. But I think that the streamlining of lacrosse is a good thing. But no, we're despite all of this and despite not being able to see our fans for a while, I could not be more encouraged with the health of the league and with the prospects moving forward.
Fantastic. Well, it all sounds like a great fall is coming. We just got to get there. And, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. So we certainly will look forward to that 21-22 season getting underway. Mike, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for giving us some of this terrific info on state of the team, state of the league, and what's to come.
Thank you to all of our season ticket members who joined us tonight. We can't wait to see you. We mean that. Let's reset that countdown clock and start looking forward to the fall.
Absolutely.